Hello, once again, race fans. Welcome back to, well, for the longest time, it's been the NASCAR show on the Brewing Truth, but Michael and I have actually decided to rebrand the show in time for the start of the 2020 season. This show is now officially Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour. So welcome back to an episode of Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour. And bonus points for you guys out there if you get the reference. I'm Alex Gray, along here with Michael Klein. We got a lot to talk about. The season's underway.
Yep. And Michael Klein also, just don't forget, Michael Klein live from Daytona International Speedway.
Yep, Michael is live down in Daytona. Last week we did the show. You were driving down there, so obviously I'd love to hear your inputs from the Arca race and the Clash especially, and the Arca East race that took place at New Smyrna Raceway. So, oh my gosh, we got...
Well, I've got a lot of it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start with the Arca Menard Series down in Daytona that took place this past Saturday. The race being won by Michael Self, who I think is going to be in big contention to win the Arca Menards title this season. What are your thoughts on the Arca race?
Honestly, it's a little bit hard for me to really come up with something, especially considering I work in the series. So, I want to keep it as non-biased as I can. I'm not going to lie. At the end there, it did kind of seem to fizzle out. Because I think with these cars, it's just really hard to get a run on anybody. But overall, though, I would say, there was a lot of action, a lot of good racing for the lead. I would have probably given it a 7 out of 10, and especially having Haley Deegan finishing in second. I mean, that was absolutely monumental, I would say, for the sport, and especially for her.
Yeah, I mean, that was her first time out ever at Daytona in a stock car, and really impressed with her performance. Obviously, her teammate Tanner Gray, unfortunately, blew up with just under 10 to go. A lot of people discussing that if Gray had not had his engine go, it would have been a chance that Deegan could have won that race, but no, seriously, a very impressive performance by Haley Deegan. Got a lot of people talking after that race, so.
Absolutely.
Off to a good start.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to seeing what she can do for the rest of the year. Same.
And she's even hinted that if the opportunity is given, she would not mind running a truck race or two. We'll have to wait and see on that. Obviously, this is her first full season in Arca. The first full year under the new Arca format. So,
I think she's ready.
All right.
If you ask me, I would say she's ready.
And she's going to take her time to develop, and I think she's going to be one of those big superstars of the future that NASCAR could really need. So, looking back on that, good Arca race at Daytona. Let's move on now to the Clash, or I should say the Busch Crash. That's what it really felt like. Oh my God. So, just a quick review. So, first 5 laps were difficult, racing around. It looked like it was going to come down to fuel strategy between the Fords and the Toyotas versus the Chevrolets. Up until Logano, Kyle Busch, and Keselowski ended up tangling in a wreck, and that's what ended up causing a chain of events that really turned this race into a big meet. You had literally a wreck at the restart that took out about 80% of the field. And then you had the wreck with Hamlin spinning out in front of everyone. And then you have Elliott and Larson tangling. And this ended up about having 6 cars finish the race, with Eric Jones pulling a 1995 Terry Labonte in Bristol. They beat up the car, and Labonte returned for a split second. Labonte was able to push him to the win. And Eric Jones got
like you're cutting in and out really bad right now.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing.
Okay, it seems like it was. Okay, I think it's improving now. So if you could just kind of repeat that question.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking, what are your thoughts on your take on the Busch Clash race and possible thoughts on what they could do to improve the Busch Clash?
Okay, so of course, first thing I got to point out is, I think a lot of people would agree that, the first probably 3/4 of the race was pretty anticlimactic. I don't think anyone would disagree there. And after that, things got really crazy in the last few laps. Was it good racing? No, I wouldn't say that. But was it entertaining? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of what NASCAR needs right now is that entertainment value, because that's what's bringing the fans back into the sport. So, I know a lot of people are going to criticize it for that, but at the end of the day, it was an entertaining finish. You had people watching all over the country, couldn't get away from their TVs just to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I was at work that night. They had ESPN on the TVs, and they actually did highlights of the Busch Clash, which kind of surprised me. But I thought it was really cool that it was, I think it was late night with Scott Van Pelt when they were reviewing that race. So I thought that was cool that ESPN took a look at that. This race is pretty, yeah. But I think Eric had talked about this when he was a good race and an entertaining race. This was more of an entertaining, well, last lap. So, a couple drivers, of course, a lot of drivers were really frustrated with how the race was. I mean, Brad Keselowski was rather upset with Joey Logano. And then, of course, you got Kurt Busch. He kind of talked about the idea of, like, what if every 10 laps, you gave out some sort of cash reward to the leading driver. Basically him saying they got to do something to make this race more interesting, per se. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr. tweeted out that perhaps they ought to do what they did when they first started the Busch Clash in the late 1979 or so, and just have a 20-lap race. So, wouldn't be a bad idea if it was a 20-lap race. You're going to have to go from the get-go, which would make the race rather interesting.
Oh, yeah. I honestly kind of like that idea. I would say, go back to 20, maybe 30 laps, and bring it back to a night race.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this race when it was held at night.
Yeah, I always loved that it was ran in the night. I just think it's made things more interesting, more exciting that way. A lot of fun memories when it comes to the Clash being ran in the night. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could pull, I don't know how you feel about this, but maybe you pull a doubleheader where, there's the Clash and then the Arca race or something like that. Just an idea.
Yeah, I don't really know why they moved it to the other day. I guess it was probably just so they could get more in the pocket, but.
Yeah, perhaps so. But, yeah, what an insane race. Who knows what will be in store for this coming Sunday with the Daytona 500, especially last year they didn't run this package at the Speed Weeks, and this year they are. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how that's going to go down. Let's see here. Another thing I actually want to talk about as well that I've never really brought up in the NASCAR show is the iRacing, the NASCAR iRacing series. Or I think it's the Coca-Cola iRacing series, if I'm correct. So they had their season opener Daytona. The race was won by Keegan Leahy. I hope I pronounced that right. He won the Coca-Cola iRacing series season opener Daytona by 5 1,000ths of a second, avoiding the carnage in the process as well. An exciting finish
where you hear all the uncensored chatter from your favorite team. From the driver.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I was hearing something in the background. I thought you were talking. But I was just talking about Keegan Leahy winning the Coca-Cola iRacing see an opener Daytona by 5 1,000ths of a second, while there was a huge crash behind him.
Yeah, I don't think I watched that. I was at Disney World that day.
Yeah, I was at.
So I don't really know if I'm in a place to really talk about that or give my input on it.
All right, no worries. That was a fun race. I honestly.
Yeah, it's a fun series. I watch it whenever I can.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really watched the iRacing circuit as much before, but I was really curious to see what it was like, and gosh, it's really interesting just watching them. And this is a esports, this is a computer-based game. You have literally 40 different people online racing with everyone, and I believe Keegan Leahy was driving for Denny Hamlin's new team in the iRacing series, so it's really incredible what we're able to do now, and I think iRacing and e-racing is going to play a valuable asset into not just NASCAR, but motorsports down the road.
Absolutely. It's never going to replace the real thing, but you can definitely, you'll definitely open it up another avenue for people to get involved in the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I see it. And plus, you just get more people into it. You get more people who, want to race. Even if they, can't step into a car, they could still get behind one of those racing wheels that you use in the video games and give it a shot. It's really incredible to really watch. All right, moving along here. Yeah. Let's see. Before I move along with things, what's going on where you are right now, Michael?
Well, right now I'm over by the International Motorsports Hall of Fame of America, just thinking whether or not I can go in. It looks like they have a bunch of tours going on. So.
Alrighty, so some interesting news popping up from the likes of people like Adam Stern and Bob Pockrass. So let's see here. From Adam Stern, Sports Business Daily, NASCAR is considering implementing new attendance standards for tracks in 2021 that they reach at least 70% capacity for a Cup Series race or face some sort of penalty.
Hey, I just want to look around the museum. How much is it?
Museum is 10. You'd have to get tickets from the ticket office. If you have a ticket for tonight's race, it's half price.
All right. Sorry, I ran to somebody I had to talk to there.
Oh, no worries. So, NASCAR is targeting several structure moves by 2021 that could see a heavily revamped schedule and even fines for tracks that lag in attendance sales and ticket sales.
Okay, I can't get behind that at all. We'll just say that.
Yeah, because, obviously, you look at Indianapolis, which has lacked in attendance for almost the past decade. NASCAR is
going to kill it. Or not kill it, but, it'll, I don't like how that's going to affect the NASCAR races there.
Yeah. Eric Eastep even commented on it. This is a new strategy. NASCAR doesn't own more than half the tracks on the schedule. But this seems weird to incentivize tearing down grandstands. Obviously, a track like Texas needs downsizing, but forcing them seems weird. How would this affect Indy, the spring Bristol race?
Yeah. Rules like that, I don't like what that means for the future of, Indianapolis and NASCAR, some of those tracks, because they don't get 70%.
Right. So I guess that would be rather concerning, especially for a lot of tracks, or some of the tracks anyway, especially just watching the attendance from the stands, really. And let's see. Okay, Adam Stern also, you might want to keep an eye out for this. Apparently Adam Stern posted that Wendy's has some sort of new pop-up restaurant activation in the infield of Daytona. Details around the
I saw that yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was driving by and noticed that.
Huh. That's interesting. Alrighty, so a couple other things. So the next one here is this has a lot of fans rather disappointed, including myself. Race Team Alliance has confirmed that it has recommended and the NASCAR charter agreement from 2021 through 2024. Rob Coffin said that the extension will continue the positive trends currently underway in advance of our promote stock car racing.
Hold on, I'm sorry. You cut out completely there for a little bit.
You good?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I was just saying, Race Team Alliance confirming that it has recommended to teams to extend the NASCAR charter agreement through 2024. Rob Coffin says the extension will continue the positive trends currently underway and advance the RTA's goal to promote and grow the sport of stock car racing, which I don't know how it does. What are your thoughts on this?
Just because it's how I've always seen it, I've never been a huge fan of the charter system. So it's a little disappointing for me to see that. To me, it's always been, if you want to make the race, you got to race your way in every week. So,
yeah.
It's just from my perspective, at least that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, back then, not too long ago, it was you had to be top 30, top 35 in points to qualify, and then the rest of those spots is up for grabs. And then even go back further, you simply just had provisionals that you could use, but you had, there were times where some rather big name drivers have missed races before, because they didn't get the speed that they needed. So I sorry to sound traditional per se, but I guess I just like it that way. And my worry with the charge system is the smaller teams. I'm worried that it could affect them, or it could affect potentially new teams wanting to potentially move up into the Cup Series. That's just my concern.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll have to see how that narrows down, but obviously a lot of fans not too pleased about that. Also saying that the $2.8 million that will now be diverted to charter teams represents the entire fixed amount open teams got per SBJ info. So that's another detail I wanted to add there for Adam's turn.
Yeah.
All right. It's also been reported that President Donald Trump will also be attending the Daytona 500.
Yeah, it's been confirmed now.
Yep, they confirmed that. Just quickly want to say, regardless of what you think of him or not, I think it's great that, in general, that the President of the United States is taking his time to come down and check out the Grand American race and getting to be there. I think that's great.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah. So, kind of like when Ronald Reagan was there in 1984 when Petty got his 200th win. So, perhaps something, maybe, who knows, maybe the Wood brothers will get their 100th this coming Sunday with the Benedetto. That would be pretty cool.
That would be.
Okay, let's see. Adam Stern also posted that the U.S. Secret Service has announced it will implement a 30-mile no-drone zone for the Daytona 500. So if you wanted some cool drone shots of the race, sorry to say. Okay, so some interesting news here. This involves Nashville Fairgrounds. There has been a lot of talk, especially this week, that basically the new Major League Soccer team has been trying to put together everything for their new stadium Well, NASCAR is trying to figure out some way to have both venues work. The Speedway's not going away. That's not the problem. But according to Bob Pockris, this came out this morning that Nashville SC and the city have agreed to a new deal that includes the area next to the Fairgrounds Speedway to be designated as mixed use. That had been part of the proposed parking structure. So I think this helps with proposed infrastructure plans as far as the Speedway Motorsports Incorporated proposal that they are working to make that area work with having both the soccer stadium and the racetrack. And of course, so they've reached forward with the new stadium, and they're trying to work everything out, because the biggest fear is parking, and people believe that it would be next to impossible to accommodate parking for both venues. So yeah, apparently they're going to try and put in some shared parking with the racetrack and the MLS stadium. So the Nashville Fairgrounds quest to bring NASCAR back is not over. Certainly not over. So, Michael, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's not impossible. The only people who make that impossible, really are the fairgrounds and the people involved. They can work this out. It's just going to be a matter of having everybody working together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be great for this track to come back. A lot of NASCAR fans want it. They want a short track. So, entry lists have also been put out for the all three series, I believe. 40 Xfinity entries for 36 spots. I think I heard 42 trucks are going to qualify for 32 spots. I think I heard that right.
Probably going to be 41 now. The Mike Alfarano team isn't going to make it.
Yes, I saw that post. I saw Tim Vince's post on Facebook. Very unfortunate break for that race team there. I will pull up the Facebook post from Tim Vince here in just a second. So he said, I have the most unfortunate news. The truck and trailer coming down from Chicago last night was going through a snowstorm and went off the road. It took about 4 hours to get them out, and we nearly missed the cutoff to park in the garage today. So unfortunately, we will not be racing Daytona. I will post more information about when the next race will be early next week. I want to thank every single person for all your support on our cause. And, of course, you're driving the Donald Trump truck. And, of course, our cause helped get Donald J. Trump elected. So, really, a tough break for our team. I'm sure they were really looking forward to qualifying for Daytona, hoping that they'll be able to get back on their feet and be able to race soon. And on the topic of racetracks, there's another track that, there might be hope for North Wilkesboro. The chairman of the Wilkes County Commissioners, Eddie Settle, posted on Facebook. This is from the Tampa Speedway Twitter. We would love to have a sit down with Marcus Smith of SMI. Wilkes County wants to be of help. That's what he said. And
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And I think that's
absolutely. I need to get that track back up and running. I will go down there and help them fix it up if it means they can get some of their dates back.
Same here. I will really help that track out. Looking back on it, and I think, we've had Slap Shoes on here before, and I think he makes a very valid point. I think NASCAR really messed up leaving that track. There's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Sure, it's a smaller track in terms of capacity, and it's older and outdated, but I really think if people can come together and they can figure out some sort of way, this track can be back to its old days again. So Wilkes County passed resolutions to work together on ways to reopen the track. They're all on board with one goal in mind, including the county commissioner stating...
Is this right by admission to the whole thing?
That's all through our main ticket office.
All right, so I got to wait through that line? All right.
It's pretty good, though.
All right. But, yeah, I look forward to hopefully seeing Wilkesboro back on the schedule. Maybe not NASCAR, but, at least, I'd at least like to see them bring back their weekly racing program.
Sure, and maybe eventually you could put in either the Arca Menard or the Arca E series there, and maybe eventually the truck series, and work your way from there. It was one of the original 8 tracks one of the original 8 races that was on the first ever NASCAR Series stock schedule in 1949. So as of right now, Martinsville and last year ran on that original schedule. So basically, the county commissioner said it's in the county's hands, or somebody buys that racetrack, described numerous times. When asked if he thinks it could have races again, Settle said he hopes so. Quote, I think we could have music events or motocross there. Just to keep in mind, last year I went to FYE and I was given a poster of a music festival that was at Rockingham Speedway, just to put that in context. I think there's been a change in leadership in the family to owners, and they're going to be more welcoming. I'm going to find out what we can do with that racetrack between now and November. So sometime this year, we're going to find out if they can get things going. This has a lot of people really excited. So, yeah, like you said, I would love to help out whatever it takes to bring back North Wilkesboro Speedway. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, they got the support to do it.
Certainly. And, of course, recently, I think they actually had Dale Jr., and he had a lot of people come down there and help out, get out some weeds and everything.
Yeah, if I'd known he was doing that, I would have gone.
Yeah. If I had the money to travel and everything, I would totally go. And then Jeff Gordon, some sort of commercial there for getting a Jeff Gordon Camaro, basically. I know a commercial was shot there recently, so a lot of exciting news, really, for really the future of NASCAR. At least we're hoping. A lot of changes coming.
Yeah, and just remember, 2021, we got all these changes coming, so hopefully we can sort of incorporate that, maybe taking a step back into that. So as they say, sometimes you got to take a step backwards to keep moving forward. So hopefully they take that advice and, take that step back to try and keep propelling the sport forward.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially that NASCAR has talked about even adding street course races. And even they've discussed about potentially the idea of having the race around a couple of teams down Chicago as well as LA Coliseum, which this is a reminder from like 98 to 2000, the NASCAR Southwestern Series had an LA street race. I believe Kurt Busch even ran in one of those, where they had a track set up around that area with the LA Coliseum. So, just an idea. And I think NASCAR will be here from the state of So, yeah, change is coming next year. It's going to be a whole new era.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to bring this up. Fox Sports 1 earned a $2.455 million viewer for Sunday's Flash, and it was up 7% from last year's rating. That was the Flash.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see that. It's going to be so much fun listening to Tony Stewart, and Clint Boyer in the same booth calling the same rankings. That's going to be an electric event.
Yeah, that was announced this morning as well, that Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch, and Brian Keselowski will have turned to broadcaster for Xfinity races this year. I really like that they're bringing in the drivers for that.
Yeah, sorry if I'm not understanding you correctly. I don't know why. It's just cutting out like crazy. Yeah, it seems like it just fixed itself.
I consider a lot of the wind picking up in your microphone now. It's all good.
couldn't hear any of that.
Well, I was just reading. There's a lot of things picking up on your end.
Yeah, I know. It's like I didn't hear a thing of what you just said there.
You're good.
All right. Not like you came in good there. I think it should be good.
That sounded good.
Yeah, it doesn't help that there's so much noise going on right now, like even more than usual.
All right, no worries. Potentially
All right. Yeah, I'm not having any Klein reception, so I might have to bail here.
Alrighty. If you want, I can wrap up the show real quick. Huh?
Hold on. No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, there's less background noise now.
Yeah, I just walked into one of the souvenir shops, so maybe it's a little less spotty here.
All right. Really, all we have left to do is just discuss the trucks, Xfinity, and the big cup races for this weekend.
All right.
All right. So the Truck Series, I'm looking forward to the Truck Series this season. I think it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be a bloodbath. I could see more winners than chase spots or playoff spots that are available, even with expanding it to 10 drivers. This race last year was insane. I think we had like 8 trucks in the race. So this one's unpredictable, I would say the most. What favorites would you have for this truck race coming in?
Of course, I got to go with Ben Rhodes.
You know what? I was going to say Ben Rhodes too, actually.
All right, so I guess we're in agreement there. But yeah, you know, he's heading into his 5th season. I think he's been for a breakout year.
I agree. And he's got the same number this year as he did last year. He'll be back in the 99.
First time he's ever done that.
So yeah, I can see Rhodes came close to winning the Daytona truck race like the past couple of years as well. So
yeah,
I think he's definitely a favorite. Moving into
all right. By the way, for all the listeners out there, and this gets posted on Twitter, I'm going to put a poll up. There's a shirt here that says it was only illegal if you got caught for the Moonshine Days. 69 likes. I'm buying it.
Okay, there you go. 69 likes.
All right, so let's just move on to the Xfinity Series now.
Yep, NASCAR Xfinity. Who do you like?
All right, so. Sorry, you go ahead.
Okay. You know what? I like the college racing cars. I think they're very strong on the super speedways, and 2 guys that come to quick mind. I think you have to throw in Ross Chastain, who won there back in the summer, and Justin Haley, who won the summer Cup race at Daytona. So I think those are a couple names you can throw in there.
Absolutely. You know, I would honestly probably say Ross Chastain myself.
Yeah. So I think college racing is going to be a team to watch for. And lastly, of course, tonight, Thursday night, is the dual races at Daytona, which I'm sure you'll be there for that. And hope
absolutely.
You enjoy the races. Yep. So
thanks.
I never talked about qualifying. Okay. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., his first time with JTG Daughtery Racing, winning the pole for the Daytona 500 in his number 47 Kroger Chevrolet. So that's kind of a shocker, too, because he breaks the streak of Hendrick Motorsports winning the pole the past 5 years. And Alex Bowman will roll out second. The front row's been determined there.
Oh, man, yeah. Me, Slap, and Cody H were all just sitting on pit road watching that, and we saw him go top, and like, nah, there's no way he's going to be keeping that top spot. And, you know, as more winning, he kept staying up top. You know, we were all just astounded by that.
Yeah, I mean, he was flying around the track. Like, even the younger guys, they all qualified well, but Stenhouse is just...
in a JTG car, nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty big for that race team. Perhaps maybe Stenhouse can make some noise with that team hopefully this season. I'm looking forward, especially...
Yeah, maybe this is just what he needed to revitalize his career.
Yeah, I agree completely, especially with a team like JTB, who also has Kendrick equipment in their cars as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that team can do.
Oh, yeah.
I think Stenhouse is going to put in some good finishes this year for that car. So,
only time to tell.
Two fastest of the open non-chartered cars was Brendan Gong, and the fastest of them all, Justin Hayes, driving for College Racing. Yes, College Racing in their first ever Cup race. And apparently they hinted about running more Cup races. They'll get to be in the Daytona 500 with Haley, and I think that's really exciting. I believe they are renting from RCR as well, so huge deal for that race team there. The rest of them, there's 2 more spots up for grabs tonight. I think the biggest name in that picture is Daniel Suarez, driving for the Gaunt brothers. A deal that really came together kind of late, even though Suarez has said that this has been something they worked on for months, but the deal came together literally like 3-4 weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing who gets in. Who do you think gets those last 2 spots?
Okay, last 2 spots, I really want to say Suarez for one of them. I don't know for sure if he's going to do it. I don't know if he has the equipment, but I definitely want to hold on to hope that Suarez does get his way into the 500. Because he's a full-time guy. He's worked so hard and has had to deal with so much over his career. I would just really, the fact that he could even miss this race, that's a pretty shitty fact, if you ask me. So, for the last one, I'm trying to think of who else is not locked in yet. Would you happen to have a list of the names who are...
Let's see. I know the other drivers that are trying to get in, if I'm correct. I know Chad Christian was in that list. Timmy Hill was in that list. Both of them the young cars. Let me make sure I get this right here. I'm going to pull up the qualifying results. Make sure I get this down correctly. Oh, here we go. All right, qualifying results. Okay, so Chad Fincham, Timmy Hill, I think Reed Sorensen, Daniel Suarez, I believe, I think those guys are the ones that have to race their way in. So,
all right, so
I'm going to say.
Yeah, out of those 2, I would say Sorensen and Suarez. Those 2 I would have.
I think those are good picks.
Certainly going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that one. I'm going to go with Suarez. So, okay, we covered qualifying, and then once we get there, Sunday will be the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. And I usually do a pick 4, but I wondered if you had any early favorites for this race moving in.
Just the momentum he finished off last season with and the momentum he's had over the offseason, I kind of got to go with Kyle Larson.
That's a good pick. I like Larson.
Yeah. Just imagine that. He wins the Chili Bowl, then he goes on and wins the Daytona 500.
That would be rather historic, and I think that would be great for motorsports in general. It really shows what kind of talent. And I think Kyle Larson is extremely talented. I think he could be a championship 4 driver this year. I could see him having a breakout
Absolutely.
year. Yeah, I mean, 2017 he had 4 wins. I think he can match that or beat that, honestly. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, if I had, usually on my Twitter, Alex Gray 83 is my Twitter. If you want to follow me, I have a pick 4 that I generally do. Basically, it's my 4 top drivers that I like going into this race. I'm definitely going to put Kyle Larson on that list. I'm going to throw in Kyle Busch in there because obviously he's hungry. He's never won the Daytona 500 before. I hope I'm not jinxing him. Jimmy Johnson. This is his final 500, and I think he's going to give it his all. I think he's got a fast car. He can obviously stay out of the trouble and get some luck on his side. I think Johnson will be up there for the running. Driver number 4, I kind of hinted this earlier. He ran pretty well in the 500 last year. Max Benedetto. I think he could potentially get the Wood Brothers 100th win.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
That would be incredible. I would love that. So I'm going to throw it to Benedetto in that list.
Yeah, you know what? Throw me in there, too. I'm going to put him in mine, too.
Yeah.
That's my dark horse. Especially when you remember just how well he did last year. I mean, he ran for the team, but, you know, I think they'll show what he can do if he's the team capable of running up front.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, he's driving for a team that has Penske backing too. I think he's going to do some really cool things in that 21 car this year. But I'd say you look out for Benedetto.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Would you list Benedetto as a dark horse as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of fun race to look forward to. A lot of fun season. A lot of fun season to look forward to as well. Before we go, what else is going on down there, Michael?
Well, I'm down here with a bunch of NASCAR YouTubers. Been hanging out with Slap Shoes and Cody H Gaming for the past few days. Went to the Arca events with them, including the one at New Smyrna, where we actually had Tanner Gray go up on his side right in front of us. That was a pretty crazy view.
Send me that picture.
It looked to me like he had flipped over from where I was sitting.
Yeah, and then Sam Meyer also
all right, so is that about it?
I believe so. I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Thank you guys so much for listening to Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour. That is our brand new name, by the way. Formerly the NASCAR Show and Growing Nature. Now it's
sounds really good.
Yeah, I love it too. And really, you're the one who came up with it when we hung up last week. So I appreciate you coming up with that idea. Because I really wanted a new name for this. So I hope you guys like it too. Those of you listening. That being said, with Michael Klein live from Daytona, have fun this weekend. It's going to be a fun opening weekend for NASCAR racing. From Michael Klein and myself, Alex Gray, we're signing off. We'll talk about Daytona in the next episode.
All right.